Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Reggie with Ashley Lambert Realty, and I wanted to do a video about home repairs. Now, when we first moved into our new home, beautiful new home, within the first week, our son actually tore a hole in the wall by pulling on the towel rack in the bathroom. So this video right here is just gonna go over what I did in order to fix that particular situation in the bathroom and what it looks like now. Also, if you're interested in learning more about real estate, if you're interested in learning more about the market situation, and also just some home improvement tips, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to give you guys updates frequently, so make sure you hit that bell so you get notifications, and go ahead and hit the like button on this video too. First thing I did was I got joint compound, and I bought some joint tape. So that's what that tape is that you're seeing in the very beginning. Is I have to put the tape on the wall, and I actually need to make sure that I'm giving it kind of a flush, flat mesh type of a vibe so that the joint compound can stick to that. I also filled the hole with some torn up paper, like old paper or something like that, so I can give it a little bit of substance, because there was like a nail there, and so when he pulled it out, it left a big hole there. The other aspect of it too that you see I'm doing right here is I'm gonna have to apply multiple layers of joint compound to make sure that the hole is not only well sealed, but that when I get to the finished part where I'm actually sanding it down, I have enough area to make it super smooth. And what you'll notice if you ever do this is that the joint tape it does rise above the drywall, and in doing that I had to apply a good amount of joint compound to make sure that the coverage was tight. I got about a 6-inch spreader right here. I probably could have got a smaller one in hindsight looking back on it, but I feel like it still did the job. I hadn't done this in a very long time. I mean, I'm talking about maybe 10 years was the last time I tried to fix a hole in the wall. It was so bad in the last house that I didn't even try. I just left it like that, and then we fixed it at the very end, right when we were selling it. But doing stuff like this, it's not gonna hurt. If you make a mistake, I mean, you kinda can't make it any worse than what it is. It's a hole in the wall, right? So at least getting it 80% to what it was is still better than just leaving it as a hole in the wall. So as you see here, my wife comes in, she checks in on me as I'm doing this project. She says, "Oh, nice muscles. Thank you very much, sweetheart." And now I'm going to continue. I think I did about 5 or 6 coats of this. I let it sit for a while and harden up, just so that I can see what did it look like when the joint compound was settling into the actual wall repair part. It's not too much joint compound that I used. I think I just went back and got a little bit more. As long as you keep that container that the joint compound is in, the drywall compound is in, it will actually keep its moisture. If you need to add some more moisture to it to mix it up, you just take that in the pan and add some water to it so you can easily spread it and stuff like that. That's just how you would apply it. So at this moment in time, I'm thinking, okay, this looks pretty good, but you see the little itty bitty hole in the middle? That's the center of the hole, so I had to go back and add some more. I actually did sand it down at this point in time, and you see all the dust. That's one thing to keep in mind. So make sure you have a vacuum cleaner, preferably something with a hose, so that you can just use it and suck up all the different pieces of dust that come from the joint compound as you sand it down. See, I got really smart here. I actually found this tip on the internet. It's using a little knife and just putting it right there in that little part that I needed it on. That really allowed me to get the type of coverage I was looking for without going over the top with that huge 6-inch spreader, which just would have been too much at that point in time. So now what I'm doing is I'm just glocking it up there, because I'm gonna sand this down anyway, right? So it can harden like that, and when I come back and I sand it down, it should be a lot smoother. Another thing that I think I could have done better, looking back at it, is I may have used the wrong type of grit paper. Maybe something that was a little too strong. I should have probably used a little bit more of a fine one where it didn't mark up the wall as much. You can kind of see where the joint compound's at. You can see the scratches from the sandpaper. But that's something that if I were to reapply the paint in the same manner to which it was applied, which I think when we got our house painted, they actually used a roller and gloss paint with eggshell was the finish for the paint in that particular room. And in doing that, it has a certain type of uniformity to it. So this is right when I finished it, and I'm letting it sit. You see my sandpaper right there. I'm about to go back in here and sand this down, and I'm praying that at this point in time, all of my work, because this has taken me maybe like an hour or so, has paid off. The work itself probably took about 30 minutes to an hour, but the actual like drying and stuff like that, just to make sure that it held well, I took my time with that and let it kind of settle. I don't want to rush this. I want to make sure it looks as seamless as possible, and that's why I'm being so detail oriented when it comes to this. So it already looks better than it did when you guys first saw the beginning of the video, where it was a big hole in the wall. And like I said, you're gonna get nicks and scratches and all kinds of stuff. This was probably one of the worst ones. Growing up, I believe I had like a big old hole in my wall growing up, and it took my parents forever to fix that. But that looks pretty good. So at this point in time, I knew I could go back in and paint it, and this is what it looks like when it's painted. Now, it's not 100% perfect, but it looks pretty good. And if I were to put something, say for example, if I were to drill another hole for another towel hanger around that area, not that exact spot, but around that area, I could probably get away with it, and most people probably wouldn't know about it unless they saw this video. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this was a helpful tip for you, and please don't be afraid to do some home improvement stuff yourself. All right, my name is Reggie with Ashley Lambert Realty. I'm a real estate agent in North Carolina. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, please contact me or my wife Ashley, and you guys have a beautiful day. Bye.